Welcome back here with us on Times Now. We have some big news coming in from Qatar at this point in time, and Qatar in fact has issued a strong message on the Strait of Hormuz. This is an important piece of info that we are getting for you. Qatar's Foreign Ministry spokesperson in fact has said that Strait of Hormuz should not be used as a pressure card. This is the latest update that we are getting for you. In fact, he insisted that the blockage in the waterway cannot be justified in any way. Closing the Strait of Hormuz has led to economic repercussions on a global level, particularly regarding energy security. Let's go across to my colleague Rishabh joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Rishabh, how do we really interpret this statement and that has now come in from Qatar's Foreign Ministry spokesperson? I mean, what is really happening right now between US and Iran?
Well, one thing is very clear, Hina, that the Gulf states do understand that Strait of Hormuz could be the ticking point, the bone of contention for long. And Iran, the way it has shown its intent to weaponize the Gulf of the Strait of Hormuz, for that matter, can use it in future as well, and that would be a problem for all these oil-producing countries because these OPEC countries rely heavily on Gulf Strait of Hormuz. Now that decoupling of nuclear war and Strait of Hormuz are being intended by both the sides, one thing is very clear. US will start talking on nuclear issues and might put Strait of Hormuz on the back burner. US might not be affected by it, but the OPEC countries would be affected by it. And that's the reason that Qatar has now started speaking out that this should not happen and there should be a comprehensive deal that should include Strait of Hormuz as well.
All right. Thank you, Rishabh, for the moment for joining us with your inputs on this story. Now, viewers, tensions are continuing around the Strait of Hormuz. A fragile ceasefire is holding, but there is still no formal peace deal in sight. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has stated that the ceasefire talks in Islamabad collapsed due to excessive demands of the United States of America. Araghchi also slammed the Trump administration, claiming the US has achieved none of its goals in the conflict with Iran.
They have achieved none of their goals, and this is why we ask for negotiation. We are now considering the world. They have achieved none of their goals, and this is why we ask for negotiation. We are now considering.
So let's tell you a little bit more about what has really happened, how this deal deadlock is continuing. There have been efforts to get both sides on the negotiation table again. We had some hopes last weekend as well, but all hopes failed after the foreign minister of Iran went back from Islamabad and the American delegation could not even arrive in Islamabad. And then, of course, the statements that came from US President Donald Trump. Now, Iran-US nuclear standoff is continuing. Talks have been going on for weeks now. No breakthrough yet, and major differences around the nuclear program still remain unaddressed. Now, let's tell you what the American side really wants in this case and how US is rejecting those American demands, and that's the reason why the stalemate is continuing. Now, America wants Iran to completely halt its nuclear program for at least 20 years, but Iran has rejected it. Then America wants Iran to give up 400 kg of enriched uranium. Iran has also refused full shutdown. In fact, Iran is seeking some kind of a compromise. Iran is rejecting demand. Iran has called American demands overreaching, and Iran has refused, in fact, full shutdown. And US wants, Iran to not use the nuclear weapon. The idea is basically to prevent potential weapon use. Then America, also says that the proposal that Iran has given is not good enough. America has rejected Iran's offer because a new proposal then was given by Iran as well, wherein Iran is okay with, a 5-year suspension of its uranium enrichment. Now, that's not okay with US President Donald Trump. The concerns remain unresolved. 5 years of low-grade civilian enrichment is in labs is what Iran has mentioned, and it is saying that, it can really consider suspending the suspending uranium enrichment for 5 years. 5 years of low-grade civilian enrichment that's in labs, and it's diluted its stockpile of existing uranium, it says, and 50%, Iran says, is kept under international inspectors. Now, along with that, Iran has said that, it's ready to transfer 50% of uranium stockpile to Russia, but concerns remain unresolved because America has rejected this particular offer. Let's go across to, another piece of information that we are getting at this point in time. More breaking inputs coming in. Doha is in favor of comprehensive deal to end conflict. This is the update that we are getting at this point in time. The spokesperson, in fact, has said that Doha would be in favor of a comprehensive deal to end the conflict following a question about reports that Iran wants to decouple Hormuz talks from nuclear program discussions. And Doha's main concern is regional security, as Iranian attacks have called regional stability in question. Veena Sikri, former diplomat, on the phone line joining us. Ma'am, good afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. Do you think it can be considered, decoupling of these two important issues, Strait of Hormuz and the nuclear program? Maybe then both sides can come on the discussion table, Iran and the US? Okay, we'll try and reconnect with her in just a bit, but this is the update that we are getting for you. Doha is also backing a comprehensive deal to end the conflict. The entire Gulf wants an end to this conflict that has been going on since February 28th. And in fact, what we have got for you right now is a statement from Doha, wherein the sense we are getting is that Doha is going to be in favor of a comprehensive deal to end the conflict. The question was about reports that Iran wants to decouple Hormuz talks from nuclear program discussions. But viewers, like we told you, America has rejected the new proposal by Iran. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio criticized Iran's pitch to reopen the key global energy waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, calling it unacceptable. Marco Rubio made it absolutely clear that access to the Strait of Hormuz cannot depend on Iran's permission or its conditions. He said that the United States of America will not tolerate any attempt by Tehran to control or charge vessels passing through the strategic waterway. Marco Rubio also pushed back against what he called a pay-to-pass model, warning that Iran cannot dictate terms over such a vital international waterway. Meanwhile, White House press secretary said President Trump met with his national security team and the proposal has been reviewed and discussed. Listen in.
Mutual reopening of the strait, leaving the nuclear discussion for later in the process. Given that the nuclear program has been a red line for this administration, would the president agree to that kind of phased negotiation?
Well, only because it's been reported. I will confirm the president has met with his national security team this morning. The meeting may be ongoing, maybe not. I don't want to speak affirmatively because I was prepping to come out here. But the proposal was being discussed. I don't want to get ahead of the president or his national security team. What I will reiterate is that the president's red lines with respect to Iran have been made very, very clear, not just to the American public, but also to them as well.
So they're considering it?
I wouldn't say they're considering it. I would just say that there was a discussion this morning that I don't want to get ahead of, and you'll hear directly from the president, I'm sure, on this topic.
Let's now move on.